How do you teach music theory in a fun and engaging way for beginner students to learn music steps? Well, welcome to Ultimate Music Theory Expert Tip number 1, Learn Music Steps. Now, in this video, you will learn how 4 beginner music theory elements lead to Beethoven's Ode to Joy. For the best Ultimate Music Theory expert tips on how to teach UMT, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. I'm Glory St. Germain from Ultimate Music Theory. Let's get started with our beginners. Teaching in the Ultimate Music Theory Beginner A workbook, you will learn the 4 music theory elements that introduce how the simple movement of music steps and direction can create a musical masterpiece such as Beethoven's Ode to Joy. When you teach UMT beginner students, they first learn the essential elements about the musical alphabet and about the movement on the musical stairs. The first element is steps and direction. Now, when moving by step, we can step up or we can step down the stairs. And it's important to engage in all 3 modalities. So let's start off with the visual. On page 38 of the Beginner A workbook. On page 38, you can easily see how we've incorporated the musical stairs. And they're going up and they're going down. So what does that mean for students? Well, the same principle applies to all music, whether you sing or you play a musical instrument. What about auditory? On page 39 of the Beginner A workbook, there are sight reading and ear training exercises. So have your students listen and identify the direction as you play the ascending or descending stairs. Do you hear the sound going up or do you hear the sound going down? Let's take a look. Well, first we have music steps and skips, and we're moving from C up to D. Can you hear the step? Next, we're going to step down from F down to G, from G down to F. Sounds pretty simple, right? Kinesthetic. Ask students to play what they see. Sight read the stairs stepping up or stepping down so they can start on any key. Now, the second thing is the element of skips and direction. The keyboard is a great visual aid in seeing that we can move from C to D as a step, or we can move from C to E as a skip. When moving by skip, there is 1 key in between, so now you can skip over your 1 key on the keyboard. Now, we want to add that element of direction because you can skip up or you can skip down. Have a listen. Skipping up, skipping down. Sounds simple. When you teach the UMT Beginner A workbook on page 44, you can clearly see how the steps and skips, I'll flip over there so you can see it, how the steps and skips are moving up or they're moving down, and they're associated to their pitch on the keyboard to identify the steps or the skips and the direction, going up or going down. And it's really fun to explore the sight reading and ear training games that are included in the workbook for your students. So, a question for you. I was wondering if you can leave me a comment below. Tell me, what is the biggest question when teaching music theory steps for beginners? And to help you out, I've created a free gift for you, the Ultimate Music Theory Teacher's Guide that you can download right now, and the link is in the description below. Let me know how you enjoy it. Now, the third element is sound. And sound is created when we sing or we play our music on our instruments, such as the keyboard, based on reading the correct pitch on the staff. So now let's take a look at the staff. On the staff, we see C moving up to D or G stepping down to F. When we move by step, we move from line note to space note or space note to line note. And when we step down, line note to space note or space note to line note. Now it's time to associate the steps and the skips and the direction up or down to the music itself. When we look at page 71 in your Beginner A workbook. Students absolutely love doing their workbook. I remember assigning a couple of pages to my students, and they'd say, could I do more pages? Could I do extra pages? Because I love Sola and Tito, and they're so much fun. So here, students are easily seeing how it's time to associate the steps and the skips and the direction up or down in the music itself. So on page 71 in your Beginner A workbook, students are completing sight reading and ear training exercises to easily understand music, steps, and skips. So now there's one more element we want to add, and the fourth element is dynamics. So now I'm going to take my step up and my step down and my skip up and my skip down, and I'm going to add some dynamics. Now, dynamics means the volume of the sound, loud or soft, of the music. And dynamics are written as Italian terms or symbols. And your students may often ask you, as they have me, Miss Glory, we're going to learn Italian? And I simply reply, sì, meaning yes, yes. And it's fun to learn Italian and play forte, meaning loud, or piano, meaning soft. And now we can add dynamics to your steps and your skips and create a little song to express an idea. So have a listen and see if you recognize this little piece that moves by repeated notes, steps, and skips. Are you ready? Get your listening ears on. Okay, here it comes. Ready? Did you recognize that? What about if I continue? Ah, yes, it is Beethoven. Beethoven's music. So how do the 4 beginner music theory elements lead to Mr. Beethoven's masterpiece of Ode to Joy? Well, have students listen and analyze the music as you play it. Ask them to identify the elements of sound as a repeated note or moving by steps or skip. Or is the direction moving up or is it moving down? Did you play forte or did you play piano? Then have your student copy you and play a pattern for ear training. When teaching repeated notes or steps or skips, have students explore the pitch of way up high, or in the middle, or way down low. And they can compose their own song, simply creating music using those repeated notes, the music steps, and the music skips. So it's really fun to explore in different ways of learning. Teach things differently and teach different things. For more information on how you can join our Ultimate Music Theory community and teach UMT, simply go to teachumt.com. We've helped thousands of musicians and music teachers master music theory concepts and implement these tips into their teaching, both in person and online music theory lessons. To learn more about how you can teach UMT, simply go to teachumt.com. I'll see you on the inside. In expert tip number 2, learn pentascales, you will learn how pentascales are formed and how one note changes everything. How we hear, how we feel, and how we express ourselves through music, even as beginners learning music theory. Till next time, teach with passion.